Recording in progress.
So this is the introduction, and we're in a new space, so I'm going to navigate this new space accordingly. And I'm going to invite everyone that's here to stand up. And then let's make sure we have plenty of room with our chairs, so let's scoot our chair back. And if during the masterclass we need our chair, you're invited to use it. Thank you on the camera. But the invitation is to be standing. Hey, my name is Neal. Neal is my name. Neal's not who I am. Who I am is a multi-dimensional, infinite spiritual being that's expressing through a human body. And today, in this moment, I'm showing up expressing who I am through the body of Neal. And why are we standing right now? Well, I don't know. Do you like to sit? Well, then sit. Well, why? And then when you choose to sit, why are you sitting? Well, maybe because you like it, or maybe because of a commitment. But when we're standing, already our energy has a degree of motion, has a degree of capacity to move in our bodies. When we're sitting, we're literally sitting on our energy. Yes, we can still move it, it can still navigate, but when we're standing, there's flow, there's an openness, there's this expansiveness that can occur just from the simplicity of actually standing up and opening up and surrendering. And what are you surrendering? Well, one thing might be your name. Why would you surrender your name? I don't know. Maybe because it's not who you are. Maybe because it's the you that you think that you are doesn't even literally exist. You hearing me speak, you hearing me communicate, you're looking at who's communicating, and you have an idea of who's communicating. You have the name Neal, and you have conversations that you've heard Neal in connection with. You've had direct conversation with Neal. You have potentially interacted physically with Neal's body. You've felt Neal's energy when he walked into a room. But have you really felt Neal's energy, or did you feel your energy? Have you really felt Neal's energy, or have you experienced something greater than Neal come through Neal's body that is an energy that is beyond the identity Neal? So why surrender your name? Well, possibly because there's something greater wanting to be expressed. So what else might I surrender? Well, possibly a perception. What might a perception be? A perception might be that I need to do this so that other people are okay. A perception might be that if I do this, then this is going to occur. But if I do this and then this happens, but I didn't plan for this to happen, I now need to let go of that other thing needing to occur to receive what actually occurred. What else might I surrender? Expectations, opinions. Yeah, but who am I? If I surrender all that, who am I? Well, who I am is completion. Now, from completion, standing on the grounds of completion, standing rooted firmly on actually being whole and complete, from completion, something can actually be expressed, like a thought can occur, a feeling can be expressed, an action can be taken, but it's being taken from already being complete. And from this completion, there's things that show up, which the things that show up are identity related, and they're perception, expectation, my truth, and opinion related. Potentially more, but definitely in that arena. And when those things show up, they show up to test the completion that I am, or because they show up because of Neal having stepped into the identity of Neal, forgetting completion, and then that thing shows up to, it's still a test, but it's because of Neal stepping into incompletion. So incompletion shows up to see if Neal will maintain the completion that I am, which is transcendental of Neal, and it's I am. It's not Neal. It's coming from a complete space which is beyond the identity, which is a space of love, which is possible when we let go of the identity that we think that we are, and we open up to express the identity of I am. So I'm gonna pause there and is anything coming up, or where are you at?
I like how you shared about the things showing up to test whether or not we are complete. Like them to test whether or not when we say that we're complete, if we're actually being that.
What do you like about it?
I find myself in that space at times, and I just see myself. I saw myself in your share.
And amazing. Like, in what part in you did you see when I shared?
Well, I was. Oh, can you hear me? Okay. So with what you shared, what part of me that I saw was on this journey of stating that I am complete. I saw myself being in the past being tested to see whether or not I'm complete or incomplete. Or if, when I say that I'm complete, if that's actually true.
I can go further on this, or I can just leave it right there. What do you want? I got another question, but I'm open to just leave it where it is. What do you think? Keep going with it or leave it?
I'm here as a participant.
So natural balance is a flow of participation. So I'm asking a question of, ask a further question or keep going with something else?
I'm just grateful to be here, and so wherever you take it from here is perfect.
Amazing. So I'm going to ask a question and take it somewhere else. So the question is, so here it is. What is natural balance? Well, natural balance is a global movement that's expressing through the hearts and minds of the people. And it's specifically global to the degree that we surrender and open up to it. See, if we just literally keep like in our perceptions, in our opinions, in our expectations, in our my truth, and we keep holding on to it, we'll be suffering. And natural balance is letting go of all of that. And then something becomes available that wasn't available when we were holding on to all those other stuff that's all identity related. And what becomes available is the I amness that's in you, And the you actually doesn't exist. The you is a construct in language that we use to identify an object that we say is separate from where we're at, which is a lie. And when we let go of all the identities, the words, the labels, the things that we use to particulate and see oneness from a division perspective, when we surrender division, and we got to go through it, but we're already in it, and if you're in it, it's because you're seeing it. But then from seeing it, it's letting go of the division, surrendering that, and opening up to completion, which is what always was, it's what always is, and it's what always will be. And we have chosen to wear the lens of division for uno momento, but uno momento is a moment that is in time, and completion is in infinity. So completion's always, it's always been, it always is, it's always gonna be. And so I'm using words in time to distinguish timelessness. And anytime I enter into the construct of words already, because I'm coming from completion, because of using words, the place where I'm coming from is automatically distorted, because the thing where I'm speaking from is a place that includes words but exists beyond it. It's not space, it's fullness, it's entirety, it's infinite connection, where connection is ever present for all of eternity. And it is through the surrender of our identity that we then can come from completion, come from oneness, which is identifiable-less. It doesn't have an identity. We only use words and language to describe what is beyond words and language. But it is from that place that we then can have an identity and not have an identity have us. We can be complete, use the ego, use the body, use the words, use the separation, use the division to illuminate oneness that is literally right here in this moment, and we choose to surrender to it or to resist it. That's complete for now. And shares, comments?
How open are you to inquiry in this space?
About as open as a sky with no clouds.
Okay, great. So, well, the class is called Natural Balance, and I would like, if you're willing, to distinguish natural. Yeah, well, would you be willing to distinguish it?
I'm going to use two words to start. It's the truth.
Okay. So
and then I'll go farther, or I'll leave it. What?
Well, there's already in my mind an incongruity, and it could be my misperception, which I'm willing to let go, as you shared in the beginning. So natural to me just means things that organically occur in nature. Would that be, to begin with, an acceptable definition, or it's
a step?
Okay. So you're looking at it from a metaphysical perspective, natural in the metaphysical sense. So the truth, right?
Metaphysical and physical.
Okay, so I'll let you then. So how does the word natural bridge those two?
So enter the realm of logic, enter the realm of the mind, enter the realm of rationality, rationalizing what something is, or logicking it out, rather than just opening up and expressing what wants to be expressed. So I'm going to just bring that out there. So now, with natural, it is what is the truth that if we didn't do anything, it would still do what it is doing. So it's inherent to, it's God's essence in creation. So if Neal's body as creation steps outside of, let's just say, Neal's body physically dies, then the yeah, it's the essence, but it's also just the plan is the God's original intent isn't altered by the passing of a single life. Now, to a significant ego, that's some bullshit. Obviously, like I'm gonna be alive or dead, and that's gonna make a difference. No, it's not. Now, so natural is God's original intent, and it's what's going to happen no matter what we do or what we don't do, no matter what interferes or doesn't interfere with it. And I think natural is additionally it's organic, and you spoke to this, so it's of see, this is the mind, this is the logic, this is the figuring things out. When I go to figure things out, what wants to be figured out isn't what needs to be figured out. What the question to be asked is why does what wants to be figured out be figured out?
So I think this is actually perfect for tying in the point about identity. So in this instance, what I was trying to do was identify specifically what it is that you're referencing when you're using the word natural. So, all of us have our own associations with any given word, and that's part of the problem, like that you're pointing to. So I just kind of wanted to be with you and on the same page as far as the application of that term in this context. So yes, I thank you for distinguishing it. I think I understand now, and I would ask, in that understanding that I believe that I have, is it accurate then to say that the truth, in your estimation, is just what is?
Yes, and it's not my estimation.
Okay. Right. Perfect. Yeah. So I mean that. So, if I may speak to my experience of everything you kind of opened up the class with, surrendering your identity or your perceptions, or kind of seeing from this higher perspective of oneness. I can recall, I don't know, when I was like a teenager and I would see these, monks, or these depictions of monks talking about, peace, and it's all from within, and having this kind of Zen sort of aura. I was just there like, it's such bullshit. Like, what are you, like, it seemed so pretentious and unnecessary to even like just it seemed like the opposite of just being. It seemed like some form of trying to capture the beingness with your mind instead of just being with what is. That being said, there's a irony in the fact that my judgment was in some ways correct in my estimation, but my perception was wrong. In other words, I didn't discern accurately what it is that I was judging, and in fact, what I was judging was what, like, it actually was the thing that I was judging it for. So like that Buddhist monk that was speaking to this and was basically trying to bring someone to this space of peace, love, and joy, essentially, I didn't see its value. And so the reason I bring this up is because I found that naturally, over the course of my life, as it unfolded, I began to see the value and what it is that's being referred to, like what these practices and what this way of being is meant for. And I guess the reason that I bring this up is again, it kind of beautifully ties in literally to this example of what you're saying, how words and trying to distinguish or use logic, or like even the purpose of this, like I'm trying to figure out what the purpose of this class in some ways or this interaction is, when it seems like if you are in natural balance, in time, in divine time, this will be revealed to you. It won't be revealed to you by engaging in this kind of logical discourse. It'll be revealed to you by virtue of just being and allowing. And so, I guess leading now to the question, what in this space, in natural balance, and in this time, are you seeking for? What have you created this space for, to allow to happen, or to exchange, or that isn't already?
That's deep. Why is it deep? Because I'm going deep. The isn't already part was where it went, where I took it deep. So I'm going to speak to what it is for currently. So what it is for currently is for connection. So you can literally show up here, experience connection with the oneness that we already inherently are, but that we just usually choose to not focus on. We have an option. We can actually focus on that infinite connection, and this channel is a channel for connection. Additionally, it's a channel for networking. It's a channel for having those connections, taking those connections outside of this channel or inside of this channel, either one, and continuing these connections, continuing these conversations, continuing energy exchange that's beyond conversation. Energy exchange that is just from being in the presence of another person. Networking, and then thirdly, what this space is for, and what you're going to see and observe and have an opportunity in to participate in tonight, is giving and receiving offers, giving and receiving your gifts, giving and receiving the thing or a thing that God put you here to express. And it might not be the thing, but it's a thing, and this channel is a channel to practice a gift, a opportunity to share it, to put it out there, and then to also have people receive it. So that's what it's currently for. And then where I see this going, where it currently isn't being used for, but it is being transformed into, is a movement of people coming from completion on purpose, sharing their gifts with each other in seamless interactions where there's this giving and receiving of energy that uses words but has transcended words and is expressing gifts from a space of completion. And that's the natural balance movement. That's where it's surrendered people interacting with surrendered people, coming from cooperation, which inherently expresses balance. First of all, in the perceived individual's life, and then overflowing into the infinite connection that we all are. That's my answer to your question.
Yeah, it answers it pretty well, I would say. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Is it okay if I sit? And I'm sitting. I'm not sure I fully caught earlier you described the difference between sitting and standing. I didn't fully catch that. You think you can?
It's okay. The invitation is to stand, and if you want to sit or you choose to sit, you're more than welcome to.
Okay. So yeah, what I received from what you shared about the purpose of this class is that it's to establish a space in which those of us that share or have a common recognition with respect to what it is you're alluding to regarding oneness and how, our separateness is an illusion, to just express what it is that within this shared space is coming through them. And so that can be naturally exchanged and received and transmitted without any other intention or purpose, because other classes or other spaces generally have some sort of an agenda, whereas here it's like you're already complete, you're already one, and what is it that, without logicking, without trying to be deliberate in some way, just see what comes up and allow whatever energy to flow that's asking to be flowed in some respect. Is that
Amazing. Do you want to share more, or does that feel complete?
No, that's complete. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think so. There's definitely more in there, but I think it's interesting. It's like now I'm going against the intention of the class, because I'm logically cutting myself off prior to. Well, there's still naturally things that are looking to come up.
Like what?
Good question.
Thank you.
Well, if you recall, there was a moment with you when we were sitting at the table here, and I mentioned how being kind of in your presence, especially when it's just like the two of us without others' intentions or energies going all over the place, like, there's like chaotic energy, but with you it kind of calls upon me, like being in your presence, to also be like share in that space that you're in. And when you mentioned earlier, how is it my energy you're feeling, is it Neal's, or is it like your energy, and that's actually what I'm feeling again, like right in this moment. Like when I was there behind the desk, it was proximally kind of maybe a bit too far to fully feel it. But yeah, now sitting here in this circle, which I also appreciate, the circle, I'm feeling that. I'm being called, it's called to naturally, without forcing it, without intending it, like I feel called to let go of my, like, I don't know, ideas, like thoughts or ways or what to do or how to do it or figuring it out. And I find that interesting because it's specific to you, at least with me. There's some sort of resonance that I find that I'm called to do that when I'm, in your presence. So I think it's a perfect class for you to lead. So I want to acknowledge you for that.
Received.
Now I feel complete.
Is there anything else alive? Shares, comments, questions? Okay. So you're complete. Yeah, but you doesn't exist. Well, it only exists in language. It doesn't actually exist in truth. So you are complete is an incomplete statement. Completion. Yeah, but what's complete? Go for it.
If I say, I am, that's the name of God, complete. I am.
God complete. Okay.
What I heard you say earlier, and this is actually an inquiry that I have now, is when we're incomplete, it's actually the expression of the ego experiencing itself separate from peace, love, and joy, and from God.
Yes. In a multifaceted, multi-dimensional way, seeking significance, seeking pleasure, seeking instant gratification, seeking like to have a certain outcome. The ego is multi-dimensional in the ways that it's multi-dimensional. God actually is infinite dimensional. The ego is multi-dimensional, and it's multi-dimensional because it is creating all of these identities, stories, and perceptions inside of the infinite dimensional reality of God. And so how that, when we're complete, where are we? Everywhere, in all time, in all space, for all of eternity, like literally. So when we're complete, we're present. And when we're present, we're everywhere, in all time, for all of eternity, and in all space. And then so to say that I am present, I can say that I am mostly present. And I think mostly present is about as close as we can get to being fully present without the transcendence of the physical body. And I think it requires the transcendence of the physical vessel to be fully present and have the full-on experience of completion and have the full-on experience of merger with God, with Source. And so how can I come from completion if I'm in the physical? Well, in the physical, I can remember from the observation of the infinite connection that I've observed, and I can, from that observation, speak from that observation in the physical, but it is only partially complete, and it's always going to be a degree of incomplete in physicality. So because of that, declaring you're complete and coming from completion will always be looked at, discriminated at, have perceptions projected at, have expectations of what completion would look like put at it, have opinions of what it would be, have my truths of how it ought to be or how it should look. And so it is a a true journey to declare completion and then to take steps from completion, because the truth is oneness, the truth is completion, the truth is infinite connection, but we're in physicality, and there's a transcendence of physicality to have the full-on expression. Yeah, go ahead, Dennis. Thank you for being patient.
What I just heard is that there's a desire for transcendence of the physical body. And in so saying, what I heard was incompletion. And why is the goal transcendence of the physical body? Why is that a thing?
What do you think?
I'm asking.
As am I.
So it's a shared inquiry. Common inquiry.
Says Mr. Logical. It's a shared inquiry. You could call it that. And you got more?
Well, no, I'm just seeing it. Perhaps part of your intention in sharing what you just did is to open it up as a question. I mean, you were distinguishing completion, and how, and you tied those things in to what, what's in the way of that, or what perpetuates incompletion, and how you feel like because it's tied in with the ego, incompletion, you cannot escape. Well, actually, so what I'm seeing is the direct link between the ego and the physical, because ego transcendence, transcending the ego, is in effect not fully possible unless you also transcend the physical body. Would that be accurate with respect to what you were suggesting?
I think, but I don't fully know. What do you think?
Right, and I think that's what Dennis was asking. If the physical, if it's inherently linked in that way, that one is tied in with the other, that transcending the ego is transcending the physical body, and that for as long as we need to physically interact and physically operate in the world as it is, which is inherently a construct, there is no way to be present completely. You can be mostly present, but not fully present in total completion. And I think that's a lot of people's wish to kind of just become an AI or something, or upload their consciousness, stems from this actually intuition, like very deep intuition that we have of what it is that we're called to do, why it is we are as beings in this dimension, or on their earthly dimension. Yeah.
I can answer that for myself. I'm here to serve God, whatever that means. I'm in the inquiry of that in every moment. But I do have an anchor, and it's the commitment that I made to build God's kingdom here on earth. And every action that I take in every moment is either in direct towards that, or in the other direction.
Complete, or do you got more?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
So with this deep intuition I'm gonna respond to what you spoke to, and with this, AI is a direct representation of the AI is the computer is direct representation of the human brain, and then how it operates in this infinitely connected way with all these nodes is exactly how the creator operates, and it's an artificial representation of the actual spiritual path. So it's like literally exactly the same, completely backwards, and so there is this deep intuitive thing that has people going into it in a backwards, upside down way.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And then to what you shared and what you heard, a joyful person sees what?
Joy.
In other people. Sees joy in other people. A angry person sees what in other people? A codependent person. So here's where it's at. So a codependent person will look at an interdependent relationship and call it codependent. Why would a codependent person call an interdependent relationship codependent?
Because they don't perceive it in any other way. They perceive it on their level of perception.
Exactly. So we can only see from where we're at. We can only see from where we're located. And if in a fraction of a moment in time we're located in incompletion, what are we going to see? Incompletion. If for a specific moment in time we're rooted in completion, what are we going to see? Completion. And where we're rooted in is determined by our degree of surrender, our degree of opening up, which has surrender happen, but it also has something beyond the surrender start to move through us. And then there's another aspect, which is the expression of that thing wanting to be expressed. And because the surrender is one aspect, but if the thing is inside and unexpressed, it is only half of the equation. It's in the expression of it that it is the full picture.
In essence, the manifestation of it.
One moment. Did you have something? What's up?
Well, in essence, it's the manifestation of it. Is that what you were saying? Is what makes it?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and what is obvious, and manifestation is just making obvious what already is. And so,
yes.
So, and in that sense, I think, Dennis, what you were saying as far as like the purpose of our selves being to serve God and move ourselves and others in the direction of God, and bringing heaven to earth. I think that is that expression of what is and what is obvious, and it flowing and being unobstructed by well, I think that's what was being alluded to earlier about the physical and, operational things in the world where they are logical. They are inherently, you need to apply a worldly logic in order to execute. And in effect, if you are to be inside of that structure, you form an identity in order to occupy that role. And it, in some ways, obstructs natural balance in the way that the ego obstructs the infinite dimensions of existence. And I would say it's not the ego is multidimensional, the ego is multifaceted. And it's multifaceted precisely because it has to create compartments for what is in a physical sense, which then gets filtered like the whatever light, all the colors mixed through the prism, like the light of God, or however you might, conceive of it. The ego then breaks it down into whatever ways and creates our separate identities. So there was a central thing that I was going for, that I was feeling wanted to be expressed.
Okay, you got a minute and a half.
That's very specific. Okay. Well, feeling into it, it's again, it's this. There is a presence in me it's begging to be here, and in all that was shared, I see. I'm back in my usual. In the time that I've been here at the village, and having to go through channels and finding an identity in a way of what it is that I do and how it is that I can be here physically. Like I rarely get the opportunity, literally as I did earlier here, and as I generally do with you, of just allowing the flow and not even knowing what I was going to say. Like when I first came up here and, everything I started sharing, I had no idea. It wasn't logic. I wasn't trying to figure it out. So I in some ways, I wasn't present to the present of the present. So like the full thing.
Time.
Okay. But I was present, so.
Received. So we're in a new space. Yeah, it is a flow space earlier. It literally, that's what natural balance class is. And now we're in a space of giving and receiving offers, which is now structured. And it's why I had a certain amount of time for you to finish your share. But basically, we've got 15 minutes to share an offer or offers with an S. So if you have multiple things you want to express, please do so, and do this with the understanding that the expression of your gifts is coming from being whole and complete. It's not coming from, hey, I need somebody to accept this offer, or I need to give this thing. Otherwise, if I don't give this thing, then I'm gonna need to go hydrate a bunch or go take a nap because I just need to get this thing out. Don't have it come from needing to get it out. Have it come from standing on the foundation of completion, and have it come from an authentic place that is specifically a place where you can always tap into, and it's a place that you don't need to be somewhere to express this offer. Like when somebody's like, hey, who has an offer? This is so authentic that you can literally just share your offer. Like you don't need to be somewhere. You don't need to look some way. You don't need to be heard some way to express this offer. So that's the invitation. Who here has an offer? Okay, so just hold on it. Offer.
Hasn't come to me yet.
Okay, well, it's still percolating. All right. I'm gonna go first. So I'm offering the up-level ceremony. What's the up-level ceremony? Well, it's specifically a 7-day event held live in physicality here in Costa Rica on Earth Waking Grace 2 property. And this 7-day event is for the first 5 days. It's a food fast, so no food in the first 5 days. We do drink water during those days, and during those first 5 days, those days are spent in silence, with 6 hours of meditation per day, split into 2-hour windows, with some movement in between the meditations to assist energy flow in the body, as well as assist with the meditations themselves. So the up-level ceremony is specifically for plateaued event leaders and event facilitators that are already leading events. You're already standing up. You're already taking initiative, but you know there's this next level. You're plateaued and you have this awareness. There's more for me to grow into, and that's who this is for. And so the minimum donation amount for the up-level ceremony is $333, and this is specifically minimum donation because what? Well, because you can donate what? More. Yeah, you can donate more. You can donate more than $333 to support Neal, to support natural balance, to support the expression of God's purpose literally here on earth, which is what? It's access through surrender. When you open up and you allow radiance to come through you, which is what comes through you after you've cleaned out all your shit, which happens in the up-level ceremony. So you're invited. I'm going to put all the information in the description of this video. And there's a donation link in there. So first, make your donation. And then secondly, message me up-level ceremony by email, and then boom, your spot's secured. So that's an offer. Dennis, you had an offer, so that's complete. You're up.
So the offer that I have is tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Every single person that is here is invited to come prune the dead fruits that are no longer producing in your life. And how we're going to do that is in physical form in the garden, as well as on the metaphysical spiritual plane as well. And you can attend for free. And also, if you're outside of this, if you're watching this video and you're not here physically, the minimum donation is 20 bridge bucks. And so if you're here, you can come prune the dead limbs for free. And if you're outside of here, 20 bridge bucks at 8:30 in the morning.
And what do they receive for their donation? If they donate 20 bridge bucks, is there something they receive, or are they receiving by giving?
They're receiving by giving, and also by being and experiencing the pruning process of herbs and things that are in the physical garden.
How are they going to experience it?
Physically pruning.
Yeah, somebody who's not here physically and they make a donation, they do the 20 bridge bucks. How do those people accept your offer?
By putting in an application at Earthwaking, I believe it's earthwaking.org, and you can come here, visit in the physical here at the village, and this can be every week. We can prune the dead branches that are not producing any fruit.
Dang. Is this indefinite, or does this have a time frame on it?
This is, I literally just made this offer, so yes, to put it in an application to come prune is indefinite. But first you got to put in the application. And if you're approved, you can come prune the dead fruits or the dead limbs.
Is that complete?
I'm complete.
Is there more you want to speak
No,
to?
I'm
or
complete.
Boom. Thank you. But you got something percolating, David?
No offers at this time for
Okay.
me.
I'm going to offer another thing, which is the Natural Balance Masterclass. So this is a free masterclass that you can come to and attend every Wednesday for 1 hour, starting at 4:45 p.m. on Mountain Time. The Zoom link is in Earthwaking Virtual Village, and additionally in the description of this video is my email and my Snapchat. So if you aren't logged into Earthwaking Virtual Village and you want to be, or you want to join this masterclass, message me directly via email and via Snapchat, and then we'll connect that way. And I can get you the direct Zoom link through that. And then in addition, upcoming is the Structured Life Masterclass. And the Structured Life Masterclass is for flowy, feminine, unscheduled people who go about their day not knowing what they're going to do next. In the Structured Life Masterclass, we're going from idea to matter. We're going from flow to form. We're going from ungrounded to physical. And what I promise is that if you go, so it's 6 weeks and it's a closed masterclass only accessible to VIP members. So how do I become a VIP member? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Well, how you become a VIP member is specifically emailing me the words Structured Life Masterclass, and I'll send you all the information, the Zoom link, and everything you need to access the class. And my promise for the Structured Life Masterclass is performance, leadership, and accomplishment. And so that's another invitation. That's in the description of this video, and that offer is complete. Is there anything else, any other additional offers alive now? We're exactly, precisely on the dot at 5:45. And this is the completion of Natural Balance Virtual Masterclass. And you're invited to join here next Wednesday at 4:45 p.m. Thank you for being here, Dennis. Thank you for being here, David.
You're welcome.
Thank you for watching this replay. I love you. I honor you. Peace. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you, Peter.